Hi again, everybody, and welcome to a very special program here on the North Greenville Sports Network. As today, we welcome the new president of North Greenville University, Dr. Gene Fant. I'm your host, Fred Battenfield. With Dr. Fant, on behalf of the student-athletes, the coaches, and the staff with North Greenville Athletics, we'd like to officially welcome you to Tigerville.
Thank you very much. We are glad to be a part of the community and looking forward to leading the university.
Well, we are definitely looking forward to getting you on campus. We had a very good meeting with you with as a coaching staff yesterday. You shared a lot about yourself as a sportsman, as a coach, and as an academic leader in the athletic family. So I know Coach Mark Smith is in great fear of his job because of your background in tennis. You might tell us a little bit about how you became Coach Fant.
Yeah, back in Gloucester County, Virginia, where I taught at the high school, I was the men's tennis coach. And so one of the great joys of my life was when I found the young men at the school calling me Coach Fant. And on Facebook and so forth, where I've been able to keep up with my players, they still call me Coach Fant. They laugh when people call me Dr. Fant because they think that's weird. And so I told the coaches I'm still Coach Fant because I'm still, in many ways, the athletic leader on campus, not just the university leader. And so I had a great experience doing the tennis, and was actually the county teaching pro for a couple of years, worked for their Parks and Rec programming and so forth, and so it's a real passion of mine.
Well, Dr. Fant, I read with great interest the article in the Baptist Courier, you and your family. But one thing caught my attention. It said, I got into a lot of scraps as a teen, especially when playing sports. You want to clarify that a little bit?
I don't know if I want to go on the record with any of that. Let's just say I was a little too competitive for my own good, and there were a few occasions where I did not complete games I began because of things I was doing during the game. We'll just leave it at that.
That sounds good. But at least we know what kind of president we're getting at North Greenville. He's a competitor.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, Dr. Fant, tell us a little, our fans, a little bit about your background in academia and why you chose North Greenville to further an already great career.
Yeah. Well, I've been blessed with a lot of just wonderful opportunities. I started off teaching middle school English and then taught high school, and then decided to go on back and do some graduate work, went on the way and did my PhD in 17th century British poetry. And along the way completed a number of other degrees, including a seminary degree, and so I have a Master in Divinity and Biblical Languages. And just had a lot of opportunities to work, especially in the Baptist and Christian higher ed world. Worked at Mississippi College, which is going to be one of our opponents in football through the new Gulf South affiliation in football. And then was Dean of Arts and Sciences and the Executive Vice President at Union University in West Tennessee, another Gulf South institution. And then for the last 3 years, I've been the provost at Palm Beach Atlantic University, which is another Christian college in South Florida, also Division II, part of the Sunshine State Conference there. And so I had a lot of great experiences doing that. I've worked my way up through the traditional academic side of the house. I enjoy teaching English, still enjoy getting in the classroom whenever I'm able, but especially love being involved with campus life. I love student athletes especially because for many of them, athletics is the opportunity that allows them to go to college where otherwise they probably would not be able to do that.
Well, Dr. Fant, as you know, at North Greenville University, our motto being Christ makes the difference. Share your view a little bit about how the strengths that we have in integrating faith into the athletic program at North Greenville.
Yeah, the thing that attracted me to North Greenville as much as anything was the legacy that I've witnessed through the years. I've had many friends who had gone through the doors of North Greenville, many of whom were here back when it was a 2-year school and then during the transition to 4-year. And so this amazing legacy of embracing that motto, where it's not just a motto that we stick on shirts where Christ makes a difference, but you really can see that lived out. And to have student athletes come into a place where they're able to be mentored, I would even say discipled by coaches, by faculty, and by staff, it does create a really unique, not only learning environment, but really a formation environment. I like to say what we're trying to do here as much as anything is to build men and women to be the people that God has designed them to be.
And that's exactly it. I know in many my roles in athletics, we go into gyms. A lot of places they don't necessarily see things the same way, and we're very proud of what we do, being able to take a little bit of light of the gospel into those kind of places.
Yeah. Well, it's job one for a place like us. I really do view it as a sacred trust, as an issue of stewardship, that there have been people through the years who've sacrificed and who've had a vision for this place. In many ways, this is a legacy institution. And so as we move forward, we want to be the kind of place that sustains what people in the past have done, adapting it and making it relevant to where we are now in terms of an institution. But we have amazing opportunities to stand on the shoulders of giants who've gone before us.
Well, you've gone on record as saying you don't have a favorite sport, but you have to admit you're coming to a state that's done pretty well in college sports lately.
It's been pretty amazing, and that's the talk. I was going down the road and saw a lot of T-shirts for sale on the side of Wade Hampton this afternoon, and it is amazing. You think about the baseball national championships in the state and the possibility of men's and women's basketball, and then, of course, with football. I'm a little more of an SEC football, ACC basketball, so this year we're a little flipped, I think, on that. But I just really enjoy sports, enjoy the opportunities that it gives us to have something that's not scripted. And there's so much of the entertainment world nowadays that's scripted. And that's one of the things I love about live sports is it's filled with surprises, that's for sure.
That is absolutely for sure. Have you been following the Final Four basketball tournament?
Been following it just enough to keep up with what's going on. I've been a little busy doing two jobs right now.
Absolutely, been going back and forth.
I have to say, when the Gamecocks got on in there, I was just so stunned because that's been a surprise for so many people, but it's been a lot of fun. And it's also been fun on social media to watch some people refuse to cross the line, and some people quickly cross the line for the sake of state unity.
Exactly. That's what I always say. I'm not a Gamecock fan. I'm not from the state of South Carolina originally, but I'm a Gamecock fan right now.
Yeah.
But because you really want people, the rest of the country, to draw their attention to South Carolina. And North Greenville has established a legacy in Division II football and a lot of other sports as well.
And it's not like we didn't go to the playoffs last year, and so in football, and so it really is interesting. And you know, I was just with one of our amazing donors this morning who was talking about how success begets success. And that's one of the things that's happening right now across the state of South Carolina and really in this region is we have so many wonderful things happening, and it does capture the eye of a lot of other places in the country and really around the world. And so some people will kind of poo-poo athletic success, but it is something that gains people's attention and adds an amazing amount of energy. And so I think it's great that at the university we've been able to have some really strong competitive programs, and it's in the context of a lot of programs in the state doing really well right now.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Fant, I know your humor seems to be something that I've enjoyed just the few brief times I've heard you speak with the rolling metaphors. Do you have any great sports movies that you can bring out with some of the things you use?
Let's see. Can we call Dodgeball a sports movie? I don't know if we can call that a sports movie.
I don't know.
But, well, it kind of is, so that's a really good one. And I loved the old Burt Reynolds, The Longest Yard, the original one. I've probably seen that 100 times through the years. Absolutely adored that movie growing up, and there have been a lot of others, of course, but those are some that I tend to. I have a pretty serious job, and so I like comedies. I don't watch a lot of tearjerkers. Brian's Song is not something I'm going to camp out on a Friday night. I have other things I would rather be doing.
I'd rather be laughing than having to worry about that.
Absolutely.
Well, you can see the kind of person we're getting has a little bit of sense of humor, but a lot of seriousness, a lot of the incredible diversity of your background in academia and the things that you've done, all your experiences, and that brings a lot of credibility to our athletic program.
I've been blessed with amazing opportunities, been very blessed with amazing mentors. And again, that's one of the things that really attracts me to a place with strong student athletics is the opportunity for students to be mentored in ways that they might not be. A lot of times, especially in the Christian faith and in a Christian context, coaches have a unique relationship. I had the experience of one of my high school athletes losing a wife to cancer, and to have the opportunity to be able to communicate with him, even now 20 plus years later, and to watch him do that and watch him lead his family in that way, it was pretty amazing. And so again, mentorship means a lot, and it's meant a lot to me in my life, and I love being at a place that embraces that.
Well, it seems you have a few famous relatives as well that have gone into college sports and professions done pretty well. Your cousin was a starting quarterback at Mississippi State. Is that correct?
Kevin Fant, number 16, Mississippi State. I believe he was a 3-year starter there. And then I have another cousin, Rod Gilbreth, who played for the Atlanta Braves, was a utility infielder. Played with them mostly in the 70s into the 80s. He was on the Pirates for 1 year, and that was the year they won the World Series. They were Willie Stargell, the We Are Family group, and Rod, I believe, still works as a scout there for the Braves. Been with the organization except for just a year or two along those lines. Then I had a cousin Terry who played offensive line for Mississippi College and is now a pastor in Mississippi, and have had a number of others that were involved with things as well. Those are some more kind of prominent ones.
That sounds like something you could have been a contender as well, but you chose a different path.
Could have been a contender. Is that the line we're looking for there?
That's the one I was seeing. I could get that.
Could have been a contender. It would have been awesome.
It would have been. Well, one of the things that I think that impressed me as well in your talk yesterday to the coaching staff was you have done some things with college athletics in developing program at Mississippi College into the Gulf South, as you mentioned, and also at Union College, growing them into an NCAA program.
Yeah, at Union University in Tennessee, we were NAIA, and we made the decision to go ahead and shift to D2. And so at that time, I was the chief academic officer and had the opportunity to help us prepare on the academic side of the house for several additional levels of things like compliance and so forth. At Palm Beach Atlantic, one of the things I've been really trying to work toward is looking at the academic majors we offer to make sure that we're offering majors that really fit the athletics program. Palm Beach Atlantic does not have football, but it does have a lot of other sports, almost as many as NGU. And so having the right kinds of configurations for academics, because students, especially student athletes, they're very busy. They're juggling a lot of different things. And so we're going to look at some things like some delivery systems and maybe some other configuration things that might really help these student athletes to lead lives of really good balance. That's one of the things we do at Division II a lot in the NC2A. We talk about life and the balance. That's one of the themes. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how we can maybe do some tweaks and things that might encourage the students.
And you did emphasize that yesterday with us as coaches, that that's something important. We take our student athletes very seriously. We want to have those the relationships with our students, with a lot of places they don't have the time to do. And I think that's important.
Absolutely. And as I always remind people, especially on in academics, a lot of times people don't realize that at most places student athletes actually have a higher graduation rate than the average student population. And there's always room for growth. But it is, again, a lot of these students see this as an opportunity to really essentially change their family tree, as Dave Ramsey might say.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Fant, you had a chance to attend numerous NGU athletic events in the brief time you've been on campus. And give us your assessment of what you've seen so far through these team sports that you've seen here at North Greenville so far.
Well, I've enjoyed going. I've been able to attend just about all the spring teams anyways. And so we have great facilities. We still have some things we're working on and have hopefully some exciting announcements about that coming up in the next few months, about some new opportunities that we're going to do. But the facilities have been great, and I'm really impressed by the way that the coaches work together. I know when I had the meeting with the coaches yesterday, it was such a strong sense of unity in the room, and that was something that I've heard from sort of my scouting reports, was that the coaches really do work together very well. We have an amazing athletic director. Jan is just one of the best in the business, and she is creating a legacy here that really is something that has moved the university forward. And so going to the events and everything, great fan turnout, looking forward to cultivating that some more, and we just think we've got some good things happening here.
Well, you had a this is real moment just the last week, didn't you? Here at the football stadium.
Yeah, we have an amazing facility for football, and one of the parts of that is the president's box that we use for hosting. I was expecting sort of like, I don't know, like an aluminum railing or something around some chairbacks. And when our assistant athletic director took me up there, when the doors opened into that, I thought I was going to throw up because I thought, boy, this is a real job now. And my wife said, honey, it's yours. You got to do it. And so we're looking forward to seeing how we can use that space to introduce friends to the university who are going to help and support us. We're looking forward to using that and a lot of the facilities we have here to not just introduce new donors and new friends to the university, but to try to find ways. I really want to do a lot of fundraising relative to scholarships because this is a real passion of mine to help students be able to finish college in as good a financial shape as they can so that they can then turn around down the road and do that for others as well. And we have some amazing friends of the university, and we look forward to seeing how we can really help to connect some of the passions that they have with the opportunities we have at the university.
Well, it seems like you've got a really good plan for the future. I probably haven't fully developed it yet, but it seems like you're starting to think ahead. One of the things I challenge my students to do is to create a 5 or 10-year plan in my management classes. I think you're starting to formulate some of those ideas. You've kind of reiterated some of those yesterday.
One of the things I was taught by a mentor is you should never overestimate what you can do in 1 year. You should never underestimate what you can do in a decade. And I am excited to see what this next decade holds at this great institution. And the challenge we're going to have is how to prioritize the many amazing opportunities that we have coming our way. And so already I'm being prayerful about that. I've asked some other people to be sort of prayer partnering with us on that as well. But we really believe that not only are the best days ahead of us, but they're days that we can't even imagine because they're going to be so exciting.
Well, those that have been here for a while are just praying for the same thing. We know that you're going to bring some great leadership into this institution as we look forward to the future. But what do you see as some of the challenges for North Greenville Athletic in the very near future?
Yeah. Well, the higher ed arena is becoming bloodier and bloodier all the time. We talk about it being a red ocean. And there are a lot of distressed institutions that become very competitive. And sometimes in the area of athletics in particular, students can find themselves having all sorts of different leveraged offers. And what ends up happening is institutions like ours find ourselves at a little bit of a disadvantage, partly because we don't necessarily have where everybody knows who we are and so forth. So one of my first goals in working for athletics is to help raise our national profile as an institution. And so that people will not necessarily say, oh, that's that little school in upstate, but they'll really have a better idea about where we are as a strong academic institution, a strong Christian institution, and so forth. I think that'll help to mitigate some of these other challenges that we sometimes have in athletics.
I've already created a bumper sticker of a saying that I really, really liked when the first time I heard you speak. Renovate before you innovate.
Most influential book I ever read on management and on business and organizations is by a gentleman named Sergio Zyman, and that's the title of the book, Renovate Before You Innovate. And it's a little bit like before you take a car on a long drive. You want to go get a shop to check it out for you, make sure the wheels are in alignment, that everything's rolling in the same direction all at the same time, and that the tires are tracking. And that's what we're going to do first. We're going to make sure that we're hitting on all cylinders and that all the tires are rolling in the right way, that everybody has sort of the same script and same vocabulary, because we want to do things well. We want to do things that will ultimately cause everyone, not just ourselves, to give glory to God.
Well, Dr. Fant, what are you looking forward to in the next 6 months in North Greenville Athletics?
I'm looking forward, first off, to June 1st, where I'm not commuting.
Where you can actually be here.
But, boy, I can't wait for the fall to get here. I can't wait. The house that the university provides for me and my family is across the street from the fields here. And I know I won't be here that long before I start hearing those whistles early in the morning and knowing that all the athletes are getting ready for the start of the year. And so we're looking forward to that, looking forward to meeting a lot of families that are going to come in and join us. And it's going to be a wonderful fall. Can't wait for it to get here.
Well, it's a very exciting time as North Greenville University as we welcome Dr. Gene Fant here to Tigerville and North Greenville University. Well, Dr. Fant, wrap it up for us as you prepare to come on board on June 1st and take over this great university and we lead us into the future.
All right. Well, I only have one other thing to say. Go Crusaders.
For Dr. Gene Fant, I'm Fred Battenfield, and this is the North Greenville Sports Network.